Hello, I'm Lynn Finch with another weekly episode of the No-Cash Allowance. Parents, this truth about money will help your kids learn about money. As a society, we have moved away from cash only, where cash was king, to more cashless spending, invisible money. But in doing this, we may have not paid enough attention to what does this mean when we teach our kids how to manage their money. They also need to learn how to manage invisible money as you do and as they do when they become adults. A survey by T. Rowe Price tells us that more than a quarter of parents feel that cash is obsolete. One way to help your kids understand this money is a number concept is to use the analogy of a pie. Kids know that you can slice a pie many different ways. You can have big slices and little slices, but you can only eat one slice at a time. So it is with $1. You can only spend $1 one way. Now, many of us adults try to do it more than one way. We use a credit card, we use a debit card. And that can play havoc with the balance. With kids, unless we help them learn how to put all their money together in one money pie, they won't have a true understanding of how much money they really have. They won't know what their bottom line is. So when we look at how money has been in our society for centuries, one thing we can say is true. All money can be tracked as a number. And we've kind of gotten away from that a little bit because it's so easy to spend money that we don't see or touch. My aha moment was when I was starting allowances for my kids a long time ago. I have grandkids now, and I thought they should have cash. But I wasn't a cash only person. I didn't have the right amount of cash. I didn't want to be unreliable. I wanted to be sure that they got their money on allowance day. So in maybe an act of desperation, I decided to write it down as a number in a little account book I kept for them. And we went from there. They would get allowance as a number in their account. And they were very young. They were preschoolers. And when we went shopping, they could withdraw as cash because I was the banker, but that didn't seem to matter to them. They just wanted to know if they had enough money. They wanted to know what their bottom line was. So my husband and I started talking about this. I come from a family of teachers, and he is a retired teacher. And we realized that if we look at this as an educational program, we could set up this little financial education program in our home. And we decided our one most significant rule was we would never pay our kids with cash. They would always get any money we transferred to them as a number in their account. And the system grew from there, where they became responsible for the numbers, and they actually liked keeping track of their numbers in their account. That relieved me of a responsibility because I didn't want to be in charge of their money. I wanted them to be in charge of their money. And it gave them something they could use to plan for the future, and they could also review the past. And that was often very entertaining to look at what they spent their money on 2 months ago, and did they still like those decisions? The importance of money, according to John Maynard Keynes, flows from it being the link between the present and the future. And I believe this written account gave my kids this link that could help them look to the future. Today's money story comes to me from a father who was working at his kids' book sale. And kids would come up and they'd hand over some money and they'd walk away with a book. He said they didn't even ask for change. They didn't even seem to understand that there could be change. Well, this tells me that kids don't really understand how cash works either, because cash is just a representation of a number. It's either more or less than whatever you're trying to purchase or pay for. it's still a number. And this is an important thing to help kids understand. And my book, The No-Cash Allowance, will show you how to set up a system like this that will teach your kids to manage money as in numbers, starting as early as preschool and going up to high school graduation. When your kids track all their money as a number, they become better money managers. The link to the corresponding blog is in the description below. And next time, past and future choices are the difference between kid and adult money. Thank you for listening.